Hi everyone, my greetings to you all. Today we discuss William Shakespeare's Sonnet 121. William Shakespeare, born on 26th April 1564 and died on 23rd April 1616. He was an English playwright, poet, and an actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon or simply the Bard. His extant works, including collaborations, consist of some 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and two long narrative poems and a few other verses, some of uncertain authorship. His plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed more often than those of any other playwright. Shakespeare was born and raised in Stratford upon Avon, Warwickshire. At the age of 18, he married Annie Hathaway, with whom he had three children. Sometime between 1585 and 1592, he began a successful career in London as an actor, writer, and a part owner of a playing company called Lord Chamberlain's Men, later known as King's Men. Shakespeare produced most of his known works between 1589 and 1613. His early plays were primarily comedies and histories and are regarded as some of the best work produced in these genres. He then wrote mainly tragedies until 1608, among them Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth, all considered to be among the finest works in the English language. In the last phase of his life, he wrote tragicomedies, or we call romances, and collaborated with other playwrights. In 1623, two fellow actors and friends of Shakespeare's, John Hemmings and Henry Condell, published a more definite text known as First Folio, a posthumous collected edition of Shakespeare's dramatic works that included all. The volume was prefaced with a poem by Ben Jonson in which Jonson precisely hailed Shakespeare in a now famous quote as not of an age but for all time. Now over to the sonnet. Sonnet 121 is an English or Shakespearean sonnet, one of the 154 sonnets written by William Shakespeare. It's a member of the first edition that is addressed to a fair youth sequence in which the poet expresses love towards his young lover. It is believed that Shakespeare was homosexual. The poet says it is better to be bad and disgusting rather than people think you to be. It is better to be vile than vile esteemed, especially when one is accused of being vile when one is not so. Then he says, when not to be receives reproach of being, when one does not get to enjoy the pleasure of vile action, one is accused of, and the just pleasure lost which is so deemed, where the pleasure is enjoyed not by the accused feeling but by people's eyes instead, not by our feeling but by others seeing, he says. Really, the poet questions, he inquires, why other corrupt people get to act pleased For why should others false adulterate eyes? Or salute the poet's own lusty inclinations? Give salutation to my sportive blood. And why should weaker people judge the people's weakness? Or on my frailties, why are frailer spies? Then, and decide that what the poet thinks as good for them is bad. When which in their wills count bad what I think good. And then the poet says, he is what he is. No, I am that I am, and they that level. And he accuses, and the accusers are only revealing their own corrupt nature by at my abuses reckon up their own. The poet says, he is good although others are bad. I may be straight though they themselves be well. And these actions cannot be judged by their soul thoughts, their soul foul thoughts. By their rank thoughts, my deeds must not be shown. He says he should only be judged by their deeds when they too admit their evil. Unless this general evil they maintain, that all men are bad and even thrive and reign with evil. Really, this sonnet has 3 quatrains followed by a final rhyming couplet. It follows the typical rhyme scheme of the form A B C D C D E F G G, and is composed in iambic pentameter, a type of poetic meter which is based on 5 pairs of metrically weak or strong syllabic positions. And talking about the theme of the sonnet, we can say, although love is the overarching theme of the sonnets, there are some other specific underlying themes, like he mentions about the transience of life or the brevity of life, then transience of beauty. He says life and beauty is transient, which is not a perennial. Then the trappings of desire. So these are the main theme that is dealt in the poem. Brevity of life or transience of life, transience of beauty, and the trappings of desire. That's all about it. Thank you. Hope you have enjoyed.